Of carrying on big debt. Well, what happened on May 12th is the same thing that happens every year on May 12th, and that is the federal government sets student loan interest rates. But this year, it's very, very different because those rates are at a historic low and lower than they've ever been at any other time in history. So in essence, you can go to school with almost an interest-free loan, as well as there are some additional scholarships available through lots of universities around the country. Law schools have agreed to freeze their tuitions. Medical schools have agreed to do the same. At least 20 out of the top 25 schools. Many of the graduate programs are now offering full ride programs. And a lot of times in a bad economy, young people have an opportunity to go to school because there aren't that many available jobs. And this is a great chance for you to grasp that. Now, think of it this way. If you wanted to go to college as an undergraduate, you could expect to pay from 4.75% all the way up to 18% interest for a student loan. So you're paying, after you graduate, most of your student loan and interest. And that student loan could take you, let's say you went to a school that costs about $40,000 a year. That student loan could take you 30 to 35 years to pay off with the payment of about $850 to $900 a month. Well, now with the new student loan interest setting rates, they're all the way down to 2.75. And there's even some private lenders that are offering even lower rates. So that's a great opportunity. For graduate school, professional school, those rates have went all the way down to 3.75. And for Parent Plus loans, they're in the 4%. So it's going to enable you to really drastically cut that payment that you would make to go to school, as well as you're going to have a chance to consolidate all of your undergraduate school loans into a lower interest rate loan. So there's really a bright side to this, and that, yes, it's a tough economy right now, but it's really creating us an opportunity to be able to go to school and be able to pay for it. And one other additional thing, which I think is really great, is that while universities have lost significant portions of their endowment, which they typically use to pay for students to go to graduate school, to law school, and to medical school, they have committed to continuing to not only provide scholarships, but even increasing scholarships. I just worked with a student that went to a top 10 Ivy League school. They got a very small scholarship to one of these schools. And I said, hey, let's negotiate. And the student said, well, gosh, all I've heard is bad news. All I've heard is that the universities aren't giving scholarships, that they don't have a lot of money out there. And I said, you know what, there's always something out there that can happen. Everything is negotiable in the world. And so this student ended up getting an increase from $70,000 to $115,000 scholarship to go to law school. So even in the worst of times, there's still opportunity if you're willing to put forth the effort. A lot of times what happens is people get discouraged and they don't try. The interest rates right now for undergraduates are 2.75% interest. Now think about it this way, guys. When I went to college, even though I only took out one student loan ever in my whole life because I learned about what scholarships were all about and funded my entire education with scholarships, I did take out one student loan, and that student loan was for $750, and the interest rate was 14%. So now they're 2.75. For graduate school, so whether it's law school, medical school, or whatever it may be, they have dropped all the way down to 4.3%, which is pretty miraculous. And Parent Plus loans have dropped from 7.05% all the way down to 5.3%. Now, you can't get those kinds of rates. It cuts your payment. Let's say you went to law school and your law school education cost you $150,000. Well, if you go to a good law school, your first year out of law school, you're going to make about $170,000. If you're really committed and dedicated, and with the low student interest rate, you're going to get about a $450 to $600 reduction on your student loan payment. And in 3 years, you can have that student loan completely paid off with your first year salary. Now, let's say you went to an intermediate law school, something that was in the top 30 or between the top 30 and the top 60. You would still come out of school with the potential salary of $120,000. You could pay off that student loan in 5 years. And the rest of your life, you're going to be making a significant income that is going to go to providing you and helping you meet your dreams and supporting your family, whatever that might be.